No signs of de-escalation between Israel and Iran after Benjamin Netanyahu declared that his aims are now to completely destroy the Iranian nuclear program, get rid of all of Iranian missile and strategic missile capabilities, alongside taking down the Iranian authorities. After a very long night during which Iran was practicing a very highly advanced strategic campaign of psychological warfare against Israel, where we saw many occasions of the Israeli Iron Dome being activated and targeting parts inside of Israel, including the Nevatim base, we had a very strategic attack coming from Iran this morning against the headquarters of the Israeli Mossad, of the Israeli Military Intelligence Directorate, of Unit 8200, and other intelligence buildings inside of Israel. This was the first video that was published this morning alongside other attacks that I wanted to share with you. Let's have a look at the first video. Now, people also recorded other videos of the same attack, with one person clearly stating that they also targeted the Mossad building, as we can see in this video right here.
2 מטר מהבית שלי. וואי, וואי, וואי. על המוסד, הצליחו על המוסד אפילו.
The Israelis could not intercept any of these attacks coming from Iran, following last night's campaign coming from Iran against the Israeli air defense systems. Multiple videos were being published last night, and some of them clearly showed the Israeli Iron Dome being activated for no reason and then landing in Israel. One of these videos was this video right here in Tel Aviv area.
ايوه ايوه ولك علت كيفات برزيل علت ولك رجعت عليهم بشرفي يو بشرفي رجعت يا حلال ولك وين.
This was only one of the videos. There was another video about the Iron Dome next to the Nevatim base, which is one of Israel's most important air bases, where it has hangars of the F-35s. That is the same base that they carry out the genocide in Gaza from, and that is the same base that they also launched their strike against Iran from. This was a video being published about the Israeli air defense system launching missiles here, and these missiles, they're going targeting nothing. All of a sudden we see two of these missiles being launched clearly, as we can see from here, and then landing and causing this damage over here. Have a look at this.
طاحن في المطار.
عمك تخرفني
خرج المطار. دقيقة يا أولاد دقيقة.
كيف واحد من الطرف
دقيقة احنا باقي تدخل هذيك النار
Now, Israel is trying to hide this information as much as possible. As a matter of fact, yesterday they had a crackdown against journalists. They were banning people from live streaming. They arrested people who were recording videos, trying to limit the level of damage that it's causing for the state of Israel. Because a lot of what's happening now is a war on the image of Israel. Israel is trying to portray like it has absolute freedom of action in Iran, that it's the only side targeting Iran and not being hurt, or none of its strategic locations are being hurt. Yet all of this information is debunking all of that. And Israeli media even was publishing some of the images of the damage today, including this image over here. This image is showing you the whole fire. And there's a sign here. This sign says, "Welcome, Logistics Center, Amman." Amman is the Israeli Military Intelligence Directorate, clearly showing you that this is the logistics center of the Military Intelligence Directorate that is on fire after the Iranian attack. Israeli media then deleted this image. However, it was too late, and people already leaked those images and they were circulating all across social media. This was one of the other images of the damage that happened in that location. That's only the Israeli Amman. We're not talking about the Mossad building or the other intelligence buildings as well in an area called Glilot in Israel. These are bases that Hezbollah previously targeted, but the level of damage sustained from the Hezbollah attacks came nowhere close to what we saw today from the Iranian attack. This is coming simultaneously with more statements coming now from the Iranian president. The Iranian president tried to make several statements previously that, well, we have a right to defend ourselves as Iran, but he was always a more peaceful person, trying to have diplomatic solutions. But now he made a very serious statement. He said that the storm of anger is coming. Wait for surprises. This is coming from the Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian. The storm of anger is coming. Wait for surprises. So clearly, we're not seeing any signs here of any de-escalation between Israel and Iran. Now, this is coming one day after a very, very stressful night for the Israelis. The Iranians yesterday were promising a very, very large attack, to a level where they led the United States Central Command to declare that a massive and unprecedented attack is being prepared against Israel. The Chinese embassy in Israel made an urgent statement telling people to leave as soon as possible through land routes via Jordan and other land routes too, because Israel is banning people from leaving. Likewise, the Russians and the Germans too, urgent statements urging people to leave the country as soon as possible. Israel was on high alert throughout the night, with only several attacks, not at the intensity seen before, but Israel was preparing for a huge attack, sirens being activated without any reason, and then the huge failure coming from Iron Dome being activated for no reason, and then landing inside of Israel, which could indicate that there's a massive breach or even direct control of the Iranians of the systems due to the places that the Iron Dome targeted. At the end of the day, you don't have an Iron Dome missile or two missiles landing in the Nevatim airbase for no reason, unless it's a huge mistake or a huge breach, an interception coming from Iran. That is raising more suspicion that Iran is leading now a strategic deception campaign against Israel that is proving to be very highly effective. If Iran is able to put Israel on its highest alert all of the time, that causes even more and more damage to the state of Israel. At the end of the day, Israel always had attacks against other countries with its internal front being totally fine economically, from a social perspective, and they don't get attacked internally. Now, millions of Israelis are in bunkers 24/7. The Home Front Command of Israel is asking the Israelis to remain next to bunkers 24/7, and despite that, Iran is landing missiles on Israel that are going through, penetrating these bunkers and destroying what's underneath them. This is causing more and more problems in Israel, and they're trying to hide it as much as possible. However, more and more people are leaking this information. Now, there were statements yesterday about certain peace talks that might happen or resolutions. However, the American president, who is the man that people are expecting to have some sort of a say when it comes to Israel and try and stop their aggression. It's the Israelis who started this huge aggression, an act of terror, an act of war against Iran that is absolutely out of order. They attacked nuclear facilities, risking radiation, risking so many problems. And the American president, people were saying that, well, he might, apply some pressure on Israel to stop this campaign. But he's unpredictable, he's unreliable, and he's not trustworthy, especially judging by the level of U-turns that he has been conducting. And now, especially with Benjamin Netanyahu declaring clear objectives of the war, taking down the Iranian authorities, taking down the Iranian nuclear program, and also getting rid of the Iranian strategic missile capabilities, all of these things are leading us to understand that we're not talking about 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks of an escalation. Clearly, Benjamin Netanyahu has something in his mind, and he's trying to implement it with Iran, and he's trying as much as possible to drag the United States into the conflict.